Hey girl, it's Kathleen Ross, your new best friend of StyleYourCareer.com. Today I'm going to be talking about what it's really like to work for a magazine. I've worked for a few different magazines throughout my career. I've worked as an art director, graphic designer, retoucher, I've worked in events, I've worked in marketing, and I've also done all sorts of freelance styling and art direction and creative direction. I did my first internship at a magazine, and I was able over time to go from part-time to full-time working with that magazine. I wanted to share a few things about working for a magazine that not a lot of people know. First and foremost, many of you have probably seen the movie The Devil Wears Prada, and that's not entirely accurate to every editor that is out there in the magazine world. The first myth that I really want to bust is that working in magazines is a super over-the-top glamorous job. There's a lot of things that are really glamorous about working for a magazine, but it's not always the most well compensated. And the reason that is because content isn't necessarily always compensated the same way as advertising or sales would be. The one thing I will say is that if you work on the editorial side of the magazine, there's a lot of things like perks and special events and dinners and all sorts of free items and samples that can offset some of the lack of compensation. Another thing that's really important to learn about working at a fashion magazine is that the industry has changed a lot. Many years ago, magazines made money mostly on the actual page in the magazine, the physical printed publication. Since then, digital advertising, social media advertising, and even events and special customized programs that are created for individual advertisers has really shifted the way that magazines make money. I think this is really amazing because it creates a lot of opportunities outside of just the printed page. A lot of people ask me about fashion editorials and how these work. There are magazines that do compensate for fashion editorials. Those are usually done with their in-house teams, with their fashion directors, and then they hire an external team, and it's all commissioned for that specific purpose. But with all these amazing digital magazines that are out there now, there are some that pay and some that do not. So that's really important to know if you're going to be working on a fashion editorial, to think that everything that you're putting into it, make sure that you have that end goal in mind, that you may not get compensated for that work, but it's still a portfolio piece, and it's really important that you do all that incredible work for your portfolio. I have really loved working for magazines, and they've really helped launch my career and made me the creative and the professional that I am today. I still submit and create fashion editorials because that's my creative expression, and I still really believe in this medium and this form of storytelling. So I would love to hear from you guys on what questions you have about this industry. I would love to talk more about magazines with you. I just need to know what your questions are. So if you liked this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, make sure you give it a share, and please tell me what questions you have about working for magazines. It was so great talking to you, and I hope to talk to you soon. Thanks so much. Bye.